Well, first of all, I've always said Nebraska is the epicenter of volleyball, and today, this weekend, there's lots going on here, and have been in volleyball. So it's pretty cool to see, especially hanging out in Wyoming, just watching all this unfold, and there's a lot of excitement. And I'm back here with doing stuff for the Supernovas this weekend, also with the ABCA showcase, and then I'll be doing 2 Big Ten TV matches in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So last time I was there was recruiting Berg and Riley. So I'm on a wild trip here, but I really want to talk about the Supernovas and answer questions about that. It does feel a little different, not wearing a Husker something up here. So, but I'm excited about the Supernovas, and I don't know if you guys already read today, but we're trying to get some Huskers back here. Layla Blackwell signed up today, or signed a contract this week. Merritt's back. So I'm pretty excited about that. And one of the things that I think right after this, the season tickets go on sale, and already in the renewal rate, it's up 140%. So there's a lot of interest in pro volleyball, and that's one of the reasons I want to get involved and try to be a difference maker in helping pro volleyball get going in this state. And the Supernovas are leading the way. I was super impressed when I met with them and toured their facilities and heard their vision and their plan in this new league and where they want to go and take professional volleyball. And if it's going to happen in this country, it's going to start in Nebraska. And so I thought maybe I could be a difference maker and get involved. And they gave me a title of general manager. What that means is, ironically, when Diane called me and talked to me about this, I just watched Moneyball with my son. And essentially a couple weeks ago when the free agency happened, that's what it felt like, was Moneyball. It was chaos, draft, we had whiteboards up, talking to agents. I mean, these agents, a lot of them are overseas, or in Italy, Europe, so you're all these time zone differences. So it was pretty wild, but it was fun, and then you're talking to the players, the agents, and it was a crazy 3 days. But there was a moment after we kind of put this team together for the Supernovas. I thought this would be a really fun team to coach, and I'm really, really impressed with the players that signed and working with them and dealing with them and getting all this worked out. So it's a new adventure for me, and I'm enjoying it. And anyway, that's a little bit about what's going on with me.
You said Diane reached out and called you. Did you reach out to her first at all, or was she the first one to kind of bring this up to you?
No, well, they first started talking to me about coaching. I said, no way. I said, I can't look at Madden in the eye and say, I'll see you in 6 months. So that wasn't happening. And then she called me and said, would you consider this general manager? And what you guys need to understand there's some big time NBA owners, Major League Soccer owners that are coming in, new cities coming into this Major League Volleyball League. I've seen all the numbers, I've seen what the projections are, I've seen what they want to do, and they're making a major commitment, and they want to make this thing happen. And one of the ways to do that, all professional teams have general managers, and even football has a general manager now. I think men's basketball, and may have hired a general manager. So the way sports are going, you kind of need somebody just to oversee things, help out. My job is to try to make everybody's job easier and help them out and support them and support the team. And again, I'm going to be able to do all this still living in Wyoming. I'll be going back and forth, which I was going to anyway. So I just think it would be, it's the next evolution for women's volleyball in this country, is to have a pro league so these players can stay here and play. And obviously there's interest because the Supernovas, they averaged 11,000 something last year. So there's a strong interest here, and now we got to spread that to the rest of the country. And Omaha Supernovas can lead the way, and Diane can lead the way. So that's how it kind of started, and it went from there. And I met the owners and talked to them, and just really impressed. I think Jeff is a brother to Nate, our sports information guy from Nebraska Volleyball. I just think he's from a different mother. So just really impressed with the whole team and what they're trying to do. Yeah, to be honest with you, I was blown away.
You mentioned wanting to get other Huskers there. Explain kind of the theory behind that.
Well, Nebraska fans want to see former Nebraska players, and so that has always been a goal, is to sign players that have Nebraska connections, and that will continue to be a priority. And the draft's coming up, so we want to draft Nebraska players, so that'll be in November. And but let's build a pipeline that, when you play at Nebraska or Creighton, and again, this is Nebraska players we're talking about, or UNO, or maybe at Wayne State or something like that. But they have a chance to go somewhere and still stay connected, and the fans here, I think, connect with those people. So that will be part of the goal, is to build this team with Nebraska roots.
One of those former Huskers, Mara, she said it didn't take much convincing for you to come back here. What was that conversation like, and what can she bring to the team, motivationally?
Yeah, I'll spill some beans on this one. So I called her, of course, as soon as I got there, she's like, I want to come back to Omaha. And then, of course, then you got to start going through the negotiations with their agents. And, so they're going back and forth. And I'm like, I told her her agent, I said, oh, so you're telling me Merritt really wants to go somewhere else? I mean, are you kidding me? Merritt wants to be here. And I'll back up. So when the draft happened, I told Merritt, I said, we need to try to get to the Supernovas. And of course she goes, well, I want to be closer to home in Atlanta. And now she realizes she wants to be back in Nebraska. And I think it's going to be great for her. And she's super excited. And I think she's going to have a breakout year.
Can you talk about what she brings to a team, motivationally, being a captain and all that?
That's one of the values of, on a pro team, one of the challenges is, when you have a college team, everybody's together, you're all there to go to school and doing everything, so it's easy to build a culture. On the pro level, you got everybody's coming from different backgrounds, they have different things going on, so how do you build a great culture for a professional team? And I think I've been watching The Kingdom about the Chiefs. They talk about culture and getting the right guys, and I think you have to get the right people. And Merritt is one of those right people. She's a leader. She's a great chemistry person. She takes care of everybody, and this whole team has a lot of those type of people. So she's going to fit in great, and everybody loves playing with her. And she's going to be a crowd favorite.
John, can you speak to some of the, obviously you kind of touched on the changes from being a coach to now being a general manager, what that transition's been like?
It's very similar because, I think over the course of my career, as sports evolved, NIL, revenue share, all these things, the ABCA showcase, the stadium match, in many ways I started becoming a general manager, being the Nebraska volleyball coach. Now this is all I focus on. So, for example, our performance team, well, we've got Brooke Smith, our nutritionist, former Husker. Laura Pilkowski, Laura Buttermore is the strength coach, former Husker. Jamie, I can't remember her last name, the team doctor, played softball here. Dr. Whitman used to work with our program back in the 2014, 15, 16. He's the team psychologist, or performance coach. So my job is to help those guys, keep them together, meet with them every week. What can we do better? And the trainer, Becca, I asked her, what do you need? Well, they don't have a catapult system. Okay, we've had the catapult. We started the catapult system for volleyball here, so we're going to get that implemented in the team. So just getting them what they need, helping them out, and then helping out the coaching staff. Which one of my goals right away was to hire a coach, and we hired Luca, and he's a great coach. I tried to hire him as an assistant way back, and anyway, that was getting the first thing, and then supporting that staff and keeping them together, and then being a the face, or not the faces, just being somebody out there to communicate what the Supernovas are about and educate people.
When it comes to Luka, do you think it might be hard not to be so hands-on with him, or are you just gonna let him do his thing?
No, he's a world-class coach. I mean, he's won a gold medal. He's coaching with Karch right now, with the men. I mean, Karch went after him. I've known him for a long time. He was a great player, and that guy knows how to coach. Now, the great thing is he asked me for my advice, so I still feel like, oh man, maybe I learned something and I can help him out. But he's going to run with it, and I'm just going to be there to support, which is kind of a good feeling. It's just, because I got wisdom and experience, and so maybe I can help out with some things and maybe do things better and continue to raise the level. Yes?
You talk about culture and familiarity, talking about managing from Wyoming. These are the Omaha Supernovas. Any reason you're having this here in Lincoln? Is it possible that, I know they're the Omaha Supernovas, but potentially bringing games back here?
Well, there's been talk, and Troy said, there's a great line. John's name's in the arena now, and they showed me a picture. It's up there now, above the scoreboard. If he wants to do it, we can do it. But that's something, there's a lot of challenges with that. First of all, availability. Second of all, we don't have the schedule yet for the professionals. So taking a match away from Omaha, there's only 14 home matches. So there's a lot of variables that have to be worked out. So it's probably going to be tough this year, but it would be fun somewhere down the road to maybe do some type of match like that. And so it's on the back burner. But it's probably, for this year, it's going to be really tough.
How long would you say you spent in retirement? Or
So, I'm going super hard. It's just a lot of different things. So I'm either babysitting, riding horses, cleaning corrals. Just been helping a guy we're building a little storage barn. So I've been doing grunt labor, hiking, biking. So we just go. But this is a way to still stay involved in volleyball. And again, I'm going to do some Big Ten TV. I'm doing about 10 matches. So I'm really excited about that because, and I just listened to a couple of the podcasts yesterday from the coaches that are in this. So Katie from Penn State and Matt from Kansas. And I'm just thinking, I can't wait to grill these guys because all those years you guys grilled me, it's payback time. So I can't wait. I just can't wait to go to their practices and, talk to them, grill them.
Coach, I gotta ask, Jordan and Kirsten have a lot more stake in their pro teams. Do you look at them now as friendly competitors, or do you just think, hey, there's enough eyeballs in this state to go around?
Yeah, they're completely two different models on how they're doing things between the two teams. And so no, we don't look at them as competitors. It's just, again, it's another chance to promote volleyball, and the fact that Jordan got involved it's one of the reasons she's not coaching. So I just think it helps elevate pro volleyball in this country. And if you look at the history of pro sports, and you guys may not be old enough, but when I grew up, there was 2 football leagues, there was 2 basketball leagues. And you guys go back and do your history. Eventually, they all merge, right? And that's down the road here. That could be something that everybody's going to be looking at is a merger, and then we got one great professional league in this country.
John, been a while since you've maybe been able to watch the Husker volleyball team from a different perspective as not the coach. Is that gonna, obviously you're gonna be at these matches, but with ABCA being here in Lincoln, can you speak to the excitement of that and maybe seeing that in a different light?
Well, I watched the alumni match. First of all, it was an awesome event, and it was great to see all those former players back. And again, I have access to watch practice and all that stuff. So there's been a few moments that I'm just pumped to see this team and what they can do this year, and it's made me miss it a little bit. But that feeling's there for a little bit, then it goes away. So, but I'm just excited for them, excited for Danny, and it's a new chapter of Nebraska volleyball, and I think they've got an awesome team, and they're going to be really fun to watch.
Danny could very well be nervous this weekend. What advice do you have for her as she goes this weekend?
Yeah. She'll be fine. This is a big weekend in that maybe it's at the Pinnacle, ABCA showcase. It's on big networks. So and I know the feeling. Anytime you have a new team and you're a new coach, you're right. She will have some nerves, but it's good nerves, and I think she's going to be really excited to represent Nebraska and the Huskers, and again, this is the showcase. It's a showcase of starting college volleyball, and she gets to be a part of that. The irony is she has to play Pittsburgh, who they play 3 times a year, sometimes maybe in the tournament. So that's the irony of the whole thing. But she's still in the ACC for a night. Well, she will be for 2 nights because they play Stanford too. Yeah. So anyway, it's gonna be some great college volleyball, and yeah, it's really exciting for the sport.
I know you were hesitant, may not be the right word, but hesitant to play volleyball in that building. What has made you change your mind on that?
Well, getting asked every time I did the radio show, when are you going to play in PBA, just getting asked over and over the years. And then, so Troy and I talked about it. We talked about it a year ago when all this started planning. And then Jamie Gordon, who's the president of the ABCA, he is trying to really elevate volleyball through the ABCA. And so we had a meeting, I think it was at Final Four a year ago. He just said, hey, we want to bring the showcase to Lincoln, and can we make this work? And first I said, no way, because we didn't want to do this. But now that it's a 0 week, so it's going to not count into taking away matches from Devaney. And anyway, we were able to work it all out. And so I think, and again, it's great for the city of Lincoln. A lot of people are coming here. They're having a big party down the Haymarket Saturday, I think, like a game day thing. So it's going to be a celebration, and the fact we get to do it in Lincoln, and so I just think the time was right. And again, getting these teams to come in. I mean, look at the quality of the teams that are here. I mean, just think if this was football was hosting, number 1 and number 3, and be pretty fired up. So it's a big deal.
Why did you want to continue to be involved in volleyball? I mean, you live out of state, you have a lot else going on. Why did you want to keep doing this? Yeah,
there's one really big reason, because I feel like I can still make a difference and help pro volleyball get going. And that's what they convinced me of, that I could be a difference maker for the Supernovas, and then because they're going to lead the way for professional volleyball. And they're already showing they can do that. So if I can come in and be a difference maker and help get professional volleyball started in this country, or raise the level and get a really great league and do this right, then I thought it was worth the investment and the time.
Did you have an itch to actually get back involved, or did
No.
you feel it was your responsibility just because of what you've done in your career?
That's probably a good word. I just felt like there's an opportunity, and maybe this is another thing I can do to keep it going and help out. And again, the Supernova team, Diane and her group, and how they put this thing together, made it really easy. These are great people. They've got a great vision, and it's just kind of like I wanted to kind of be a part of that.
Did you have to convince the family, like, hey, there's going to be a balance here, or were they all for it?
No, Wendy's telling me to do it. She was driving her nuts, so she was like, do it. And then Madden's really excited. One of the things I negotiated in is we're gonna take Madden more, and we'll come out for a match, because she watched the Supernovas, and now the Merit's on it, she'll really be watching it. So just kind of have them be involved a little bit as part of the deal.
The Battle of the Oak is taking place in Omaha tonight between Miller high schools. What can you say about lasting effects of volleyball day? How cool it is to see that kind of work its way to high school?
Yeah, it seems like several places they've been trying to do that, and it's still in everybody's minds what happened that night, and the fact that people are trying to replicate it, and continue to bring attention to volleyball, women's volleyball. I just think it's awesome, and glad people are dreaming big.
Does it feel like that was too close to ago?
What's that?
Does it feel like it was that long ago?
No, feels like it was a couple weeks ago. I mean, it's just still, yeah, everywhere I go, like just flying here, I mean, people still talk about it, come up and talk to me about it. And, they say, hey, I was at the stadium match, or I watched it on TV. And, I mean, that put, Nebraska volleyball was already on the map, but that put it on the world map. And it really impacted a lot of people.
A few questions?
How are you prepping for that TV role? You just gonna wing it?
Okay, so I don't know about how much prep you guys put in, but they put in a lot of work. They give you a lot of information, and I'm pretty impressed with the amount of prep that goes into calling a match, and the amount of information that they're going to provide you with, and the things they want you to talk about. So it's a challenge, and you got to do your homework, and you got to be prepared, and and so I'll have cheat sheets that I'll make, and they actually have a kind of a draft, an outline on how to do that, to help you with that. But there's a lot that goes into it, and then talking to the coaches. So I'll be at all 4 practices on Monday up in Sioux Falls, and I'll watch some of those guys will be here playing. So, and I know a lot of those teams, but again, you try to get the inside scoop and find little things here and there.
How much have you picked, like Emily or Larry or Connor or those guys?
Not much, but now that when I watch sports, I'm really listening to the color analysts. What are they saying? How are they talking? Again, my favorite is Tony Romo. I love what he does. If they give me a telestrator, look out. They're talking about it. So, yeah, I'd love to get on the telestrator.
Do you think you'll be opinionated, or were you like, no, I'm not criticizing coaches because I've been there?
No, for me, it's just, I look at it as if I'm coaching. What am I seeing, and then how can I share that with the audience? Here's what I'm seeing. Here's what we got to watch for. Just using my coaching lens, and again, that's what I love about Tony Romo. He's just talking like he's in the game, and so that's how I want to do it. And then those play-by-play people are so good. And the amount of stuff they have to manage, because they've got to do the timeouts, they've got to do lead-ins, they've got people talking in your ear the whole time. You got to be a multitasker to do that. So I'm just going to watch the match and talk about what I see.